गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री भगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः। This verse seems to be very simple, but it has got tremendous depth. What is said? Idam shariram. So idam iti sarvanamna uktam vishinashti shariram iti. Anything which is recognized as not I is called as kshetra. See, this is the meaning. On the basis of this, the second verse commentary of Bhagwan Shankara is best. So, the objective world, then the experience of the objective world, and the experiencer of the objective world, who is getting identified with those experiences and becomes happy or miserable with the happy or miserable experiences. All these three things fall in the purview of the kshetra. See? And is it not true? Kshatatranat. We try to protect ourselves. So the Jiva Bhava. We try to protect the body, so the gross body. We try to protect ourselves from the bad experiences, so the experience. Therefore, the experienced, the experiencer and the experiencer, all the three of them fall in the purview of the kshetra. Kshatatranat, kshayat, ksharanat, kshatravadva, asmin karma phala nirvrittehe kshetramiti. Now see the other meaning. Kshatravadva asmin karma phala nirvrittehe. For whom is the karma phala? It is not for the body. The karma phala is for the jiva. So the world of experience, Jagat, also the body where the experiences are harvested by the jiva, and the jiva who is the harvester of the experiences, all the three of them fall in the purview of the kshetra. So idam iti abhidhiyate. So all that which is recognized anatma bhavena is the kshetra. एतद्यो वेत्तितं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः. So तद्विदः. तो क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञो ये विदन्ति ते तद्विदः. So there are those who know. What they know? Kshetra and kshetrajna. So there are only two things in this world. Kshetra, which includes these three, and kshetrajna, the absolute reality. And this kshetrajna is also called as kshetrajna only because we are referring the kshetra. Otherwise, he is jnapti matra, only jna alone, not even kshetrajna. And therefore, kshetrajni iti evam ahu ke tadvidaha. Tau kshetra kshetrajnau ye vidanti te tadvidaha. Up to here we have seen last time. Now, the teacher begins the second step. Evam kshetra kshetrajne uktau किम एतावन मात्रेण ज्ञानेन ज्ञातव्यो इति न इति उच्यते. So is it that only this much is to be known, that you have to know Kshetra and Kshetrajna? I know. Is it all? So the teacher says no. Then what it is? Next step. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. Kshetrajnam yathokta lakshanam. The Kshetrajna which was indicated in the last verse, yathokta lakshanam cha api mam parameshwaram asamsarinam vidhi janihi sarva kshetreshu. So here is a big bombardment of thought. What is that big bombardment? Normally we will understand the knower of the Kshetra is the Kshetrajna, and there are so many Kshetras, and in every Kshetra there is a knower who is knowing the whole world. So there will be as many Kshetrajnas as there are the Kshetra. Here the teacher says, Kshetrajnam mam parameshwaram asamsarinam vidhi janihi. Now see, when we take Kshetrajna per head one, he is a samsari. But here Bhagavan says, mam parameshwaram asamsarinam kshetrajnam vidhi. So the Kshetrajna, what is recognized as one per head, according to Yoga Sankhya as the Jiva, is not the Kshetrajna. The real meaning of the word Kshetrajna is Parameshwaram asamsarinam vidhi janihi. Means what? Only one thing. We have to have correct identification about I. This is all. And when we have the correct identification about the I, there is no place for the Jiva. There is no place for Janma, Marana, Mrityu, Samsara, Papa, Punya, Dharma, Adharma. All of this become redundant. And that is why all the spiritual practice, if it is not ultimately culminating in recognize the essential nature of our own being, it is only shrama matra, is only a torture of ourselves. Therefore, mam parameshwaram asamsarinam kshetrajnam vidhi, and sarva kshetreshu. It is not that I am the kshetrajna only in the holy men, and in the unholy men I am not there. No, sarva kshetreshu. See? So yaha kshetrajna. Now this kshetrajna is supporting what? Brahmadi stamba paryanta aneka kshetra upadhi pravibhaktaha tam nirasta sarva upadhi bhedam sad asad adi shabda pratyaya agocharam vidhi iti abhiprayaha. Now who is this kshetrajna? Sarva kshetreshu yaha kshetrajna, this kshetrajna, Brahmadi stamba paryanta, starting from the creator to the created. See, cause and effect. Brahmadi stamba paryanta aneka kshetra upadhi pravibhaktaha. And because of the multiplicity or the manyness of the conditioning of the bodies, he has as if appeared to be divided because of the conditionings. Tam nirasta sarva upadhi bhedam. When all the upadhis are rejected, discarded, nirasta sarva upadhi bhedam, sad asad adi shabda pratyaya agocharam. And therefore, we cannot speak about that kshetrajna as is or is not. Sat asat shabda pratyay. Like that, this object is on my palm. Now your mind is conditioned by the object and this particular object. Then when I remove this, what you will say now? You will say that there is no object on your palm. So everything in this world which is gained through the cognition of the thought has got two options. Either something is recognized as existing or something is recognized as non-existing. But this kshetrajna cannot be called as is or is not. See? Therefore, sat asat adi shabda pratyaya agocharam. How simple and straight it is. So, kshetrajnam mam parameshwaram asamsaranam vidhi sarva kshetreshu yaha kshetrajnah brahmadi stamba paryanta aneka kshetra upadhi pravivaktaha tam nirasta sarva upadhi bhedam sat asat adi shabda pratyaya agocharam vidhi iti abhiprayaha. This is the meaning. When this is said, continuing the same thought, sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayoho jnanam yat taj jnanam matam mama. Now, hey Bharata, hey Arjun. Bharata, Bha means knowledge, Rata means revealing. He who is revealing in this knowledge and understanding, to him we are talking. If you see the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, the address by Arjun to Bhagwan Krishna and by Bhagwan Krishna to Arjun in different places has a specific meaning. Here, Bhagwan has not said Parantapa. Parantapa means Parantapayati. You are on the battlefield. Hey Arjun, get up. No, here Bharata, I am talking something sense. Don't start fighting now. So, hey Bharata, Jasmat, because Kshetra Kshetrajna Ishwarasya Yathatmya Vatirekena Na Jnana Gocharam Anyat Avashishtam Asti. Because other than Kshetra Kshetrajna Ishwara Yathatmya Vatirekena, other than knowing the essence of this, there is no jnana gocharam anyat avashishtam. There is nothing, anything worthy of knowing in this world. Because everything is included in this kshetra and the kshetrajna. The kshetrajna is Ishvara. Yathatmya, the essence. So other than knowing the essence of the kshetra and the kshetrajna, there is nothing left in this world. And therefore, tasmat kshetrajna kshetra kshetrajna yoho jneya bhuta yoho yaj jnanam. Therefore, the knowledge regarding the kshetra and the kshetrajna yaj jnanam, that knowledge kshetra kshetrajna yena jnanena vishayi kriyate. So that knowledge by which we are able to recognize, understand what is the kshetra, what is the kshetrajna, taj jnanam, that is called as knowledge. All others is ignorance. That is called as knowledge. Taj jnanam, samyak jnanam iti matam, me abhiprayaha mama ishwarasya vishnoho. So that is my understanding, this is what I feel. Means what? When we talk about knowledge, so what is the real knowledge? Real knowledge is this. What is kshetra and what is kshetrajna? And what is the kshetrajna? Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So therefore there is only one kshetrajna. There are not many of them. Now from here onward, most beautiful discussions begin. Nanu sarva kshetreshu eka eva ishvaraha na anyaha tad vyatirekta bhokta vidyate chet tataha ishvarasya samsaritvam praptam. Now this is the objection raised. Sir, if you are telling sarva kshetreshu mam kshetrajnam ishvaram vidhi, recognize me as the kshetrajna, and who is the ishvara? Asamsarinaha. So Sarva kshetreshu eka eva ishvaraha. If there is only one Ishvara in all the bodies, na anyaha tad vitirikta bhokta vidyate, and there is none other than this Ishvara who is experiencer of this world. If so, chet tataha Ishvarasya samsaritvam praptam. Then Ishvara is the samsari. You only told, but you also told that asamsarinaha. So how can we understand? So tataha Ishvarasya samsaritvam praptam, and Ishvara vetirekena va samsarinaha anyasya abhavat. And if you say no, although Ishvara is in everybody, yet he is not a samsari. If you say this way, then va samsarinaha anyasya abhavat. If there is no other samsari other than the Ishvara, and Ishvara is not getting into the samsara, then what will happen? Samsara abhava prasangaha. Samsara will be over. And yaccha ubhayam anishtam. And both of these things are not acceptable. Which are the both things not acceptable? That Ishvara is a samsari and there is no samsara. Ubhayam cha anishtam. So taccha ubhayam anishtam. Why it is not acceptable, not right? Because bandha moksha tad hetu shastra anarthakyam prasangat. Because if you say this thing, then all your scriptures who talk about the bondage, ko nama bandho katham esha agataha, katham patishthasya katham vimokshaha. See? All will become meaningless. Anarthakya prasangat. They will become meaningless. Pratyakshadi pramana virodhacha. And not only that, but we directly see that the people are suffering in this world. So there is a samsara. And therefore, when you say that there is but one kshetrajna and he is the Ishvara, in and through all the bodies, and other than him there is none else, this problem will come. Because pratyaksha pramana virodhat. Also, it is contrary to a direct perception. How? Pratyakshena tavat sukha dukkha tad hetu lakshanaha samsaraha upalabhyate. Because we see the people in this world suffering, sukha dukkha, and the cause of this sukha dukkha is the samsara. Or sukha dukkha is the cause of the samsara. This is how they are there, upalabhyate. Then jagat vaichitre upalabdhehe cha. And what is the world? World is a variation. Vaichitrya. There are so many differences. And where from the differences have come? Because of dharma adharma nimitta samsaraha anumiyate. Because when to the same parents 3-4 children are born, one is very intelligent, other is very dynamic, third is extremely selfish, and fourth is a government servant. See? So where from the differences have come? So the differences have come because dharma adharma nimitta samsaraha anumiyate. We will have to say that the differences are because in his last life they have done something pap, and therefore in this life they are married. See? This is how we infer anumiyate. So the variation in this world is inferred. Rather is helping us to infer that there were beings separate who have done good or bad karma. As a result of this good and bad karma, karmashayaha jati ayurbhogaha. All this is seen. Sarvam etat anubapannam atma ishvara ekatve sati. And all these things will be totally discarded, become redundant if you say that there is only one kshetrajna and there is nothing like jiva. See, in this whole thing, jiva is not respected anywhere. Now imagine, if the jiva is not respected anywhere, the whole line of thinking and approach to life will be different. This is how you know what we do depends on what is the conviction with which whatever we do. That is important. And if the conviction is that I am the body, then go on doing yogasanas throughout life. Then if you are convinced that you are the jiva, then kurute ganga sagar ganam vrta paripalanam dhamadanam. Go on going to one place to another place. And if you are convinced, though not experienced, that there cannot be anything else except the ekameva dvitiya, then your approach to life will be different. And that is what ultimately matters in life. Therefore, प्रत्यक्षेन तावत् सुख दुख तद हेतु लक्षणा संसारः उपलभ्यते जगत वैचित्र्य उपलब्धे च धर्म अधर्म निमित्त संसारः अनुमीयते सर्वं हि एतद् अनुपपन्नम आत्म ईश्वर एकत्वे. Therefore, if we accept that there is but one kshetrajna and he is Ishvara, there is nothing like Jivatma, then all these things will become meaningless. So, this is now explained by the teacher. Na jnana ajnanayoho anyatvena upapattehe. Now, you don't be worried about everything, because this is possible because under the influence of knowledge and ignorance. Subsequently, the teacher will tell those who, for giving the validity to the scriptures, compromisingly accept that there is something called as the jiva, they are adhama. See? That's why when people study Bhagavad Gita, they don't touch this portion, because it shakes all your hold in your whole life. So, na jnana ajnanayoho anyatvena upapattehe. No, this is not true, because this is possible to happen because of the knowledge and the ignorance. How? Duramete viparite vishyuchi avidyaya cha vidyeti jnata. In Kathopanishad, somebody has seen, we have not seen, isn't it? That there are two vishuchi, there are two paths. One is the path of knowledge and second is the path of ignorance. So, tatha cha tayoho vidya avidya vishayoho phalabhedaha api viruddhaha nirdishtaha shreya cha preya cha iti. And the result of these two paths is also indicated as different. And what is that? Not only different, but viruddhaha nirdishtaha. What is that? The path of the knowledge takes us to Shreya, the absolute good, the absolute reality. And the path of the ignorance takes us to the Preya, the relative good. Relative good is only bad. There is nothing like relative good. Therefore, vidya vishayaha shreyaha preha tu avidya karyam iti. And therefore, as long as one is functioning under the influence of the ignorance, for him alone the samsara is. But because there is a majority of the ignorant people, that does not mean that there is really a samsara. You know why this thought comes? Because of the sanskar of this democracy. Democracy is the worst kind of government. Because in democracy, it is the rule of the majority. Majority is always of fools. Wise are never told to a dozen. That's why in which country? Probably in Switzerland. The value of each vote is different. It's not everybody has got one vote, no. If somebody is, let us take, a judge of a Supreme Court, when he gives a vote, his value, suppose vote's value is 100. Another fellow is only a rickshaw puller. His value of the vote will be only 1. So when some person is voted by 2 judges and other person is voted by, let us say, 100 rickshaw pullers, the one who is voted by the 2 judges will be selected. See? But in our great Mera Bharat Mahan, Gadha Ghoda Ek. Therefore, because majority of the people are functioning under the influence of the ignorance, that doesn't mean that the samsara is true. So, avidya vishaya shreya preya to avidya karyam. So, what is the meaning of avidya? Avidya means the acceptance of the relativity or the samsara as the real, and then start doing dharma, adharma, papa, punya, yoga, yogabhyas, and get different types of siddhis and remain there only. They don't want to go further. Why? The moment you go further, all things are lost. Therefore, tathacha vyasaha. Similarly, Vyasa Bhagavan said in Mahabharata, Dva vimavata panthanau ityadi. Imo dvaveva panthanau idicha iha dve nishte ukte. Similarly, here also in Bhagavad Gita also, it is said, as well as in the Mahabharata, which is also a part of Bhagavad Gita, these are the 2 paths. And in Bhagavad Gita also, dve nishte ukte. What are the dve nishte? Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. These are the 2 paths in this world, the path of knowledge and path of ignorance. Path of knowledge is that which begins with the foundation of Ekameva Dvitiya and culminates in that. And path of ignorance, which includes karma, which includes yoga, culminates only in that path. The existence as a relative being is real and continue doing that. So, avidya cha saha karyena vidya hatavya iti shruti smruti nayebhya avagamyate. And what is said by the scriptures? It is said that karyena saha, along with its effect, avidya vidyaya hatavya. Ignorance should be destroyed by the knowledge along with its causes, effects rather. Now, this is said by the Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya, 3. Shruti and Smriti are the scriptures and Nyaya is the logic. This is indicated by these 3. So, which are those Shruti, Smriti? First, Shrutayaha Tavat. The Upanishadic quotations are given. For example, Iha cheda veditha atha satyamasti na chediha vedit mahati vinashti. Keno Upanishad tells us, if while you are in this world, now and here, if you come to recognize this absolute reality, then satyamasti, then alone you have fulfilled your existence in this world. Nachediha vedita. If you have this notion, after I die, go to the heaven and I will stay, enjoy for some time, and then I'll come and then get realized. Forget about it. So, nachediha vedita mahati vinashti. Therefore, it is only vidyaya, avidyaya sahakaryena hatavya. Second, tameva vidvan amrutahaya bhavati nrsiha purvatapaniya upanishad. It is said, vidvan tam eva. The one who knows vidvan, the knower, tam eva vidvan, amrutaiha bhavati. Knowing this absolute alone, one attains immortality. The same thing our Narad Bhakti Sutra tells, that satu asmin parama prema rupa amruta swarupa cha. Nanya pantha vidyate janaya, in the Shvetashadra Upanishad also will come, that there is no other way than to know your own essential nature. Vidvan bibheti kutaschaneti. In Taittiriya Upanishad we have seen that the Vidwan doesn't mean wise. Vidwan, Vit means the wisdom, knowledge. One, he who is established in this Brahmatmaikya Bodha, na bibheti kutaschana. He is never afraid. The fear of death, the fear of deception, and the fear of distress, all these three are totally absent in this supreme experiencer of the truth. Vidvanna bibeti kudaschana avidushaha astu. And those who are the ignorant, those who do not know their self, tasya atha bhayam bhavati. Ya etad udaram antaram krute atha tasya bhayam gato bhavati. The moment you take even an iota of difference, duality, otherness, you are bound to end up in fear. Because dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. Kathopanishad says, avidyayamantare vartamana swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. Living in the relativity and considering themselves to be the wise. You know, you live in relativity, consider yourself to be wise, up to here there is no harm. But swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana, and then they take the position of the teacher, they take the position of the guides, they take the position of the leaders, like our politicians. And what happens? Dandramyamana pariyanti mudaha. Such people themselves are destroying themselves as well as the others. So avidyayamantare vartamana. Then Brahmaveda Brahmaiva bhavati. In Mundakoparishad we will see the knower of the Brahman is Brahman. He is not other than the Brahman, because where the knowing and being is one, that alone is realization. Where knowing and being are different, it is not. Therefore Brahmaveda Brahmaiva bhavati. Then anyo asau anyaha aham asmi iti na saiveda yatha pashuhu eva devanam. And those who consider I am different, he is different, God is different, and therefore he becomes devanam pashuhu. Now here you please understand. There are two ways of understanding this mantra from this from this. What is said that first we take the deva means our sense organs. So when I take anything in this world objectively, and then I want to have it, indulge and enjoy, so what happens? I become the slave of my senses. Devanam pashu. So whatever the eyes want to see, I must run and go there. Whatever the tongue wants to eat, I must run from here and there. You must have seen people for eating pan, they drive you 2 hours only for eating pan. Devanam pashu. Second thing is, those who have got lots and lots of desire to be fulfilled in this world or the other world, and their efforts are not enough. So what they do? They invoke the various gods. Then they will be doing the different pujas. So let us do this puja, let us do this tarpana, so that our pitrus will come and then they will bless us. Indriyanam svendriyanam pratarpanam. When we bring our sense organs back to their own source, that is the fulfillment of the sense organs. But instead of that, we go and ask the pitrus, the gods, to the pujas, to the mantras, that we are doing this thing, kindly bless us, please look after us and all that. Such people become the devanam pashuhu. Their whole life goes only in this. And such people I have seen, they become more weaklings than strong. See? The more support you take in this world, the more weakling you are. If you have to take support, take only one support. And that is absolute. Then nothing else is required. Otherwise, we become so weakling and again do the same thing. That is called as the devanam pashu eva saha. Yaidam sarvam bhavati. And Saha idam sarvam bhavati. He alone becomes everything. And yada charmavada akasham veshtayishanti manavaha tada devam abhijnaya dukkhasya antaha bhavishyati. In our Shvetashvatar Upanishad it will be told. This is the most popular mantra from Shvetashvatar Upanishad. There are many mantras, whichever comes I will tell you that time. This is one mantra. Where it is said, yada charmavad akasham veshtayishanti manavaha. When we will be able to roll the space like a deer skin. Can we do that? Yada charmavat akasham veshtayishanti manavaha tada devam avijnaya. Without knowing your essential self. Tada devam avijnaya dukkhasya anta bhavishyati. Then all your miseries will be rejected. Meaning, never you will be able to roll the space like the deer skin, and nor you will be able to be free from the miseries of this relative existence unless you come to discover this absolute reality. Therefore, all the Shrutis very clearly tell that karyena saha avidya Vidyaya hatavya. This avidya has to be killed, destroyed by the vidya, the knowledge. Now, so also in the Smriti Grantha, that is Bhagavad Gita also, it is said, Ajnanena amritam jnanam tena muyyanti jantavaha. See, jantavaha ajnanena amritam jnanam. They are so much under the influence of the ignorance that they have forgotten their own essential glory, avrutam, and therefore jantavaha muyyanti. Therefore they are deluded and suffer in this world. Similarly, in the 5th chapter, ihaiva tairjitaha sargaha yesham samme sitam manaha. But those who have merged themselves in this non-dual, absolute, undivided, homogeneous, conscious bliss, Tesham samme sitam manaha iha eva taijitaha sargaha. They have gone beyond. Sarga is janma mrityu, birth, death, etc. They have gone beyond all that. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra. Similarly, the one who is able to see the oneness in and through the totality, he alone has known the truth. All else are only suffering in this world. So we have seen Shruteha Tavat, Smruteha Cha. Now, Nyayataha, logically also. What is logically? Sarpan kushagrani tathodapanam jnatva manushyaha parivarjayanti ajnanataha tatra patanti kechiz jnane phalam pashya tatha vishishtam. It is said, Sarpa, the snake, Kusha agrani, the very pointed spiky grass, Tatha udapanam, or a well where there is a lot of water, jnatva, having known, manushyaha parivarjayanti, they will avoid it. Now, ajnanataha tatra patanti. If you do not know, then you may step on the snake. If you do not know, you may put your foot on the spike or the thorn. Or if you do not know, you may go and fall in the river. So, ajnanataha tatra patanti. Kechit. Jnane, but those who know, they will not. Phalam pashya tatha vishishtam. Therefore, see the result of the knowledge. We will never degrade ourselves to the relativity. And therefore, logically also, all the problems are born out of ignorance. The moment we know, we will avoid. This is how the best thing is. Like yesterday somebody was eating my head, evening before taking bath. My day begins with this. The whole day at night, last night at about 11 o'clock somebody called. Swamiji, I hope I am not disturbing you. I said, I am sleeping now. So how can you disturb me? Oh, Swamiji, I am so sorry. Shall I call again? I said, okay, thank you. And what is the topic? The same topic. So when I said, why don't you listen to some of the cassettes? I said, it will definitely help you. You change the pattern of your thinking. Leave that line of thinking. I have already heard it. I said, you take breakfast. Then why do you take lunch? Why do you take dinner? Because you may take breakfast, but it is digested and thrown out. So, you again eat. Similarly, that knowledge, what you have heard, if it is digested and thrown out, then again listen to that. That is the only way. But the problem is, I know Swamiji, and their logic. Swamiji, I think he is behaving like this because of the hormonal changes. I say, Gata su pradnya vadavasya bhashase. You are talking like a wise man and behaving like a fool. So when you know that he is behaving because of these hormonal changes, then you understand him. Why do you become angry with him and fight with him? But he always does like that. I said, because always there are hormonal changes. Stupid. And such people, they make their life miserable. See, please understand this thing. If somebody doesn't know, he can be taught. If somebody knows and practices in life, he doesn't require teaching. But the third category, most dangerous. The problem of the world is today, they know everything. See? You can talk to somebody they don't know. They know everything. Naturally, they are suffering from the knowledge poisoning because that is not being applied in life. So here, somebody says, no, I know, because of the relativity I am miserable. So if you know, then get out of it. Oh, wahi to nahi hota. That is not possible. What I should do? Suffer. Nothing can be done. Therefore, तथाच देहादिषु आत्मबुद्धि अविद्वान रागद्वेषादि प्रयुक्तः धर्म अधर्म अनुष्ठान कृत जायते म्रियते च इति अवगम्यते. And so also this avidwan, he who has not recognized this kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata, he who has not recognized this thing, who is this fellow? Dehadishu atmabuddhi. Because of this erroneous notion, the body is taken as the Atma. So, dehadishu atma buddhi. And as a result of this, raga dveshadi prayuktaha. See? If you have got a small room, and in that small room there is a small rat which is dead and rotting, so it will create a very uncomfortable feeling. Not for the rat, but for the living one. Now, if the same rat or hundreds of rats, if they are dying in the open space, it will make no difference. In the same manner, when we consider ourselves to be the limited body, limited being, then all the problems will crop up in life. And which are those problems? Are raga dveshadi prayuktaha. Then raga dvesha will continue. And this raga dvesha, the most fantastic part, raga dvesha does not have any logic. And all our life is based on the foundation of raga dvesha. And we consider ourselves to be the most logical person. So, raga dveshadi prayuktaha. Now, as a result of this raga dvesha, what will be our lifestyle? Dharma, adharma, anusthana. So, if we like something, whether it is according to dharma or adharma, don't care. We'll do means we'll do it. And after we are tired and then we start a sense of guilt and all frustration, then we get into dharma. Whatever papa I have done, well, is there any way to get out of it? Yes. What is you have to do? You have to give this much dakshina to brahmanas. Swamiji, these days very difficult to get Brahmana. I am there now, all in one. See? This is how this dharma, adharma is only for those who are functioning under the influence of the likes and dislikes, and likes and dislikes have no meaning, no value, no logic, no existence. Because our own likes and dislikes also change. Watch your own mind. What we used to like in the childhood, it is no more liked. And what we used to hate in the childhood, that spirituality has become the primary concern now. See? Therefore, whole life is only based on misunderstanding about our own self. And therefore, dharma adharma anushthanan jayate mriyate cha iti avagamyate. And because of this, body dies, I die. Body is born, I am born. And none of us have ever the experience of birth and death. See? You know, our Yoga Shastra tells why there is a fear of birth and death. If you remember, we have seen this in Jati Ayur Bhogaha. In that sutra, in the commentary of Bhagavan Vedavyasa, we have seen why we are afraid of death. Because of the memory of our last death. And during the last death, we have suffered tremendous. And that pain of suffering, when you die, they explain it through an example. If you pull an elephant through the needle of an eye, how much torturing will be for that elephant? Like that, when the jiva is pulled out of the body, it is the most painful experience. Now that experience is stored in the jiva's memory bank. And then he takes another body. And when again that thought gets into his life, I think everybody is dying, I will also have to die. And then that earlier experience of death starts becoming enlivened. This is how Yoga Shastra has to explain the fear of death. But Vedanta Shastra doesn't accept that as the fear of death. Fear of death is only because of the ignorance that I am the body, other bodies are dying, therefore I as a body will also die, and therefore I am afraid. Otherwise, we don't have the experience of death. This is how what we take as the foundation of our spiritual practice will change our attitude and the spiritual practice. So, तथा च देहादिषु आत्मबुद्धि अविद्वान राग देशादि प्रयुक्तः धर्माधर्म अनुष्ठान कृत जायते म्रियते च इति अवगम्यते. Now, dehadi vyatirikt atmadharshinaha raga dveshadi prahana apekshaya dharma adharma pravrutti upashamad mucchante na kenachit pratyakyatum shakyam nyayataha. And therefore, those who are dehadi vyatirikt atmadharshinaha, but those who have accepted themselves to be kshetrajna. Which kshetrajna? Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharat. So, dehadi vyatirikt atmadarshinaha raga dveshadi prahana apeksha dharma adharma pravrutti upashamad. So, because they have recognized their essential nature, immediate result is raga dvesha adi prahana is not required for them. They don't have to get rid of the raga dvesha because they don't have. See? Raga dvesha will come only to the one who has something to get from this world or who has something to protect in this world. Then only raga dvesha will come. And when we have nothing to gain, nothing to protect in this world, with whom will we have the raga or the dvesha? Raga Dvesha can function only when we have accepted ourselves to be a limited being, not otherwise. So, Dehadi Vitirikta Atma Darshinaha Raga Dveshadi Prahana Apeksha Dharma Adharma Pravrutti Upashamad. And because they don't have Raga Dvesha, there will be no question of Dharma Adharma for them. See? Take for example to understand this. A child, he has not recognized himself to be Parabrahma Paramatma. But he doesn't have Raga Dvesha. And when that child is, suppose you go to that child and you want to go and hug and kiss, and he gives you one, get out, I don't know. So that is not an expression of disliking. Next moment, the same child, forgotten everything, will come and jump and hug and kiss you. So when Raga Dvesha is not operating, the child is not creating Dharma Dharma. See? Therefore, this Vidwan who has recognized his essential absolute reality, in his life there is no place for likes and dislikes. And because there is no place for likes and dislikes, there is no possibility of Dharma Adharma. And therefore, Upashamat Mucchante. While living itself, they are already liberated. And iti na kenachit pratyakyatum shakyam nyayataha. And nobody can logically deny this. This is like that. It is very true. Now, tatra evam sati. Now, this being so, kshetrajnasya ishvarasya eva sataha avidyakrita upadi bhedataha samsaritvam iva bhavati tatha yatha dehadi atmavatvam atmanaha. Therefore, tatra evam sati, this being so, kshetrajnasya ishvarasya eva sataha. Therefore, the kshetrajna ishvara alone is the reality. Avidya kruta upadi bhedataha samsaritvam iva bhavati. That iva is the most important word. Underline that. Avidya kruta upadi bhedataha. The upadi conditioning of the body, etc. Then that Ishvara alone as if has become the samsari, but not really, as if. Now to understand this thing, our scriptures give the best example is the drama. So on the stage when the actor comes, he has taken the upadhi of that particular character, that he loves somebody or he hates somebody, he is going to kill somebody or he is going to protect somebody. This is the upadhi. Now he comes and according to that upadhi, he performs his acting and goes away, and that time he knows that this was only an acting, not the reality. Therefore he may be doing an acting of the most miserable husband, but in fact he knows this is just an acting. He is no more miserable. In the same manner, this Kshetrajna Parabrahma Paramatma, as Ishvara functioning through the totality of the upadhis, he is doing an acting that he is a Jivatma. Therefore, all the miserable fellows are only acting. They are not really miserable. See how this knowledge will totally change our whole perception of life. So, tatra evam sati ishvarasya kshetrajnasya eva sataha avidya kruta upadi bhedataha samsaritvam iva bhavati. Therefore, samsaritvam jiva bhava is only avidya kruta, and it is not real. So, yatha dehadi atmatvam atmanaha. Just like the Deha adi, body etc. is recognized as the self, and then we start behaving as if we are the body. So the body is born, I am born. The body is growing, I am growing. The body is fat, I am fat. The body is that of the man, I am a man. The body is that of a woman, I am a woman. This is how the whole tamasha begins. And sarva jantunam hi prasiddho dehadishu anatmasu atma bhavo nishchitaha avidyakritaha. So what is the conclusion of this discussion? Conclusion is Sarva Jantunam hi prasiddhaha dehadishu anatmasu atmabhavaha avidyakrutaha. So for all the beings, the body identification is the result of the ignorance. Now see, so the mosquito, the snake, the cockroach, the elephant, the tiger, the human being, all of them fall in one line as regard they consider themselves to be body. There is no difference. How true it is. Don't we see? The other day when I saw one snake going, so the line of thinking started. I said, look here, for the snake or the rat or anything, they have no problem of putting on clothes, what others will say, and we have to go for the class and sit for the meditation. But their identification with that body and our identification with this body, qualitative difference is zero. Same thing. Therefore, sarvajantunam, for everyone, avidyakrutaha dehadishu anatmasu atmabhavaha. And this is born out of avidyakrutaha. This is the conclusion. Yatha, example is given. Yatha sthanau purusha nishchayo na cha etavata purusha dharmaha sthanoho bhavati sthanu dharmo va purushasya tatha na chaitanya dharmo dehasya deha dharmo va chetanasya. Example is given. How avidyakruta, born out of ignorance, dehatma bhava takes place. But this dehatma bhava is only out of ignorance, not real. How? Example. Yatha sthanau. Sthanu means a post. As in case of post, through ignorance you come to know that this is somebody standing there, because you do not know that this is the post. So in the post you see the ghost. Yatha sthanau purusha nishchayaha. And when you are seeing somebody standing there, then because of this ignorance, nacha etavata purusha dharmaha sthanoho bhavati. Therefore, that post does not become a living being, and sthanu dharmo va purushasya, and the purusha which you are seeing, he does not become inert like a post. Tatha na chaitanya dharmo dehasya deha dharmo va chetanasya. And because of this mistaken superimposition, the pure consciousness never becomes inert like the body, or the body never becomes consciousness like the Chaitanya. Therefore, this is only out of ignorance. So, whether you take the body of a living being or you take the body of a dead person, they are anatma vastu. How true it is. Now, sukha dukkha mohatmakatvadi atmanaha na yuktaha. Therefore, sukha, dukkha, moha, they belong to the anatma. They don't belong to the self. So, sukha, dukkha, moha, mohatmakatvadi, atmanaha na yuktaha. They cannot be associated with the Atma Tattva, because what is the Atma Tattva? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Satchidananda Parabrahma Paramatma. So in this Satchidananda Parabrahma Paramatma, Sukha, Dukkha, Moha, how they can be even thought of to be present? Isn't it? If somebody will say that the sugar was so salty, that means by mistake he had taken the salt and you thought it was sugar. Therefore this statement will come. Sugar can never be salty. In the same manner, if somebody says that the fire was so cold then you are suffering from leprosy or very high case of diabetes. Therefore, your all experiences have gone. No, it is not possible. Fire has to be hot. Therefore, here, sukha dukkha mohatmakatvadi hi atmanaha na yuktaha. Then, avidya krutatva visheshat jara mrityuvad. And if you have to accept them, they will be only avidya kruta, because these are the avidya kruta, jara, sukha, dukkha, moha, etc. They do not belong to the self, like death and the birth do not belong to the self. Or jara mrityu, old age and death do not belong to the atma, they belong only to the body. Now two things are taken here. We are able to appreciate old age and the death belong to the body. Atma does not suffer from old age and death. This we are ready to accept to a great extent. But sukha, dukkha, moha, these are also belonging to the anatma. See? That is why when here the teacher will tell what is kshetra, ichchadi, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, sanghatas, chetana, dhruti. See? So, ichcha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, these are all the kshetra only, along with the modification. But we imagine sukha, dukkha, how they can be only imaginations. When you go through, then you will understand. So, as the old age and the death belong to the kshetra, so also sukha, dukkha, moha, etc. also belong to the kshetra and not to the kshetrajna paramatma. When this was told, the Purva Pakshi raises an objection. Na atulyatvad iti chet. This is the wrong example you are given. See, this topic is coming again and again this time, isn't it? In every place, whether it is Patanjali Yoga Darshan, whether it is Shvetashvatar Upanishad, whether it is no 13th chapter of Gita, the same thing. Na tulyatvad iti chet, na atulyatvad iti chet. This example that you are given is wrong. How? Sthanu purushau dneyahu eva santau. Both the post and the imagined person on the post, both of them are dneyahu, they are the objects of knowledge. Dneyahu santau. Jnatra anyonya asmin adhyasto avidyaya dehatmano tu dneya jnatroho eva itare dhyasaha iti na samo drishtantaha. But here what is our topic? Topic is Atma and the Deha, etc. So Atma is not a Dneya Vastu, it is the self. And what example you have given is example about the two things. Both of them are the Dneya, objects of knowledge. But here Atma is not an object of knowledge. So your example is wrong. See how? This is called as Bal ki khal, stripping the skin of the hair. So, Sthanu Purushau Dneyo Eva Santau Jnatra Anyonyasmin Adhyastau. So, by the knower, both of them are superimposed on each other. So, the post is superimposed on the man and the man is superimposed on the post by the knower. But in case of the Atma and the Deha, there is no third knower. So, Jnatra Anyonyasmin Adhyastau Avidyaya. Now, Dehatmanoho Dneya Jnatroho Eva Itare Dhyyasaha Na Samo Drishtantaha. But in case of the Adhyasa, superimposition of the attributes of the body on the self and attributes of the self on the body, this is not rightly said. Therefore, we can't accept this Drishtanta. Ataha Deha Dharmo Deha Api Jnatuhu Atmanaha Bhavati iti chet. And therefore, Deha Dharmaha, the attributes of the body, Deha Api, although they are known, Jnatuhu Atmanaha Bhavati, and yet they belong to the Atma, that is Sukha Dukkha. These are the Dharma of the Atma also, if we say like that. Now, here the teacher says, Na achaitanyadi prasangat. See, please try to understand, my dear friend. Deha and Atma. What we are trying to learn, Deha is Jada, Atma is Chaitanya. If you say the dharma of the Deha, Sukha Dukkha Ityadi, they are the dharma of the Atma, then Atma will also become Jada. And Jadatva is unacceptable in the Atma. So, no, Chaitanyadi prasangat, yadi hi dneyasya dehadehe kshetrasya dharmaha sukha dukkha moha ichchadayaha jnatuhu bhavanti tarhi dneyasya kshetrasya dharmaha kechan atmanaha bhavanti avidya adhyaropitaha jara marana dayaha tu na bhavanti iti vishesha hetu vaktavyaha. Suppose if you say sukha dukkha moha ichcha, all these dharmas of the kshetra, they also are the dharma of the kshetrajna Atma. This you are saying, okay. Then there are other dharma of the kshetra, which are those jara mrityu, old age and death. So why don't you accept old age and death are also the dharma of the Atma? That you cannot say. On what ground are you separating that some dharma of the kshetra belong to the Atma and some dharma of the kshetra do not belong to the Atma? On what ground this differentiation is made? Therefore, yadi dnehasya hi dehade kshetrasya dharmaha sacha sukha dukkha moha ichchadayaha jnatuhu bhavanti. If they belong to the knower, the kshetrajna, tarhi dneyasya kshetrasya dharma kechan atmanaha bhavanti. Some of them belong to the Atma. Avidya adhyaropita. Jara marana dayatu na bhavanti. But not this. Iti vishesha hetuhu vaktavya. Tell where from this special thing you have brought out. Na bhavanti iti asti anumanam avidya adhyaropitatvad jaradivat iti heyatvad upadiyatvad cha ityadi. Therefore, one can only say that only by the avidya adhyaropa we can always do this. What? We can imagine that the attributes of the kshetra are superimposed on the Atma, but they are not actually belonging to the Atma. This is what is the meaning. So, evam sati, in this manner, tava evam sati, kartrutva bhoktrutva lakshana samsaro dneyastaha dnyatari avidya aropitaha adhyaropitaha iti. And if this is accepted, then kartrutva bhoktrutva lakshana samsaraha. Samsara is nothing but kartrutva bhoktrutva lakshanaha. Kartrutva is the doership, bhoktrutva is the enjoyership. So all this good or bad, papa punya is the kartrutva result and the sukha dukkha is the bhoktrutva. So all this is samsaraha. Dneyastaha, it belongs to the object. Jnatari, on the subject, the knower, avidya adhyaropitaha iti. Therefore, the I am Sukhi, I am Dukhi, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, these are only superimposed through ignorance on the absolute Ishvara, who is one kshetrajna in and through the total bodies. Iti na tena jnatuhu kinchit dushyati. Because of this superimposition, the kshetrajna is never influenced. Yatha balaihi adhyaropitena akashasya talamala vatvadina. Just like bala here doesn't mean a child. Bala means ignorant. So like by the ignorant people, when the sky is like a dome, it is solid, it is having blue color. When all these things are referred to the sky because of the ignorance of these fools, that doesn't make any difference to the sky. In the same manner, because of the ignorance, if the doership, enjoyership, janma, mrityu, sukha, dukkha is superimposed on the absolute kshetrajna, who is one without a second. By that, there is no Jiva Bhava taking place. Jiva Bhava is not a reality. See, that is why again and again I have been emphasizing this point. Don't be satisfied by liberation of I. Liberation of I is not our bite. Liberation from I. And what is that I? Is Dehatma Bhava has to be rejected. The moment Dehatma Bhava is rejected, you have liberated yourself from the I. Therefore, एवं च सती सर्वक्षेत्रेषु अपि सतः भगवतः क्षेत्रज्ञस्य ईश्वरस्य संसारित्व गंधमात्रम अपि न आशंक्यम. And therefore, these kshetrajna sarva kshetreshu api sataha, although is present in all the bodies, sataha bhagavataha kshetrajnasya ishwarasya samsaritva gandhamatram api na ashankyam. So do not suspect even an iota of relativity in the absolute self, although the whole experience belongs to the relative plane. Meaning, although we see the ocean and the wave as the cause and the effect, that does not mean in water there is even an iota of cause, the ocean, wave, the effect. Ocean, the creator, wave, the created. Ocean, the governor, controller, wave, the governed, the controlled. All these things are totally absent in the water. In the same manner, this kshetrajna, Ishvara, samsaritva gandhamatram api na ashankyam. Don't even suspect that you are miserable. Don't even suspect that you are going to die. Don't even suspect that there is some harm that is going to happen to you. No. Because in that absolute reality, all this relativity has no place, no meaning. Na kinchit, nahi kinchit api loke avidyadhyastena dharmena kasyachit upakaro apakaro va drishtaha. How beautiful. When something is superimposed by something on something by some fool, that doesn't make any difference. That is why why the wise people are quiet, When the ignorant people call the wise people as mad, they know that the ignorant person is calling you mad, so what is there to get angry? And when the other people call them wise, that time also this wise man knows what these ignorant people understand about wisdom. So, getting a certificate from the fools that you are a wise will never make you arrogant, Maharaj. And therefore, the wise people are happy, whether you praise them or you condemn them. This is the beauty of this knowledge. Nahi kaschit, kvachit api loke avidya dhyasthena dharmena kasyachit upakaro apakaro va drishta. So when we praise or glorify a Mahatma, we are not giving a certificate of recognition to his Mahatma. No. And when we condemn somebody, you cannot. Yattu uktam na samo drishtanta iti tadasat. And when you say that example was not right, this is not right. How? What was said? Avidya adhyasa matram bhi drishtanta dashtantikayoho sadharmam vivekshitam. We were only trying to tell you the superimposition. So only the superimposition aspect you take. Why do you take the other parts of the example? It is something like after hearing a joke, then you ask the question, then what happened? That means you have not understood a joke. In the same manner, if you say that example was wrong, you have not understood anything. Remaining we will take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.